wearing a hood?
I don't know.
This is a terrible shot.
We need to readjust the camera, I think.
No.
Look at how badly we're framing. This is like Manos, the Hands of Fate framing.
Alright, everyone. We framed our video. We're barely in this. My microphone's like way over there. Fuck. Fuck! Fuck!
Yay! This all needs to stay in the video.
It probably will.
Oh, good. Where are some people? Okay.
Yay, edit.
Those at home. The censor bar for the weed just dropped on the mic.
Fuck. We're still not framed.
No, not really.
I'm in the show. Hey, nothing you can say. Nothing's gonna change what you do. I don't know why I'm singing Randy Orton's old theme.
I'm gonna try and adjust the camera now.
Well, it doesn't help sitting
Oh,
up.
Jesus.
Jesus!
Oh, that's the microphone. Okay. How's that?
I'm just looking at this face I'm making. Okay, then. So what are we talking about? That is not what we're talking about. That is French onion chip dip on my microphone.
Okay. Something we need to clear the air about. The Nolan trilogy.
And Batman movies in general.
They generally aren't very good.
They suck.
Contrary to public opinion, there are more bad Batman movies than just Batman and Robin.
I got downvoted on Reddit for saying a Nolan movie was bad.
Oh no!
Only once.
Where do we begin?
With Batman Begins. Oh wait, no, there's more before that. And then,
We could start with our perennial favorite, Batman 1966.
that doesn't count.
It's a Batman movie. It was in theaters.
It's Bino.
Okay, we could pass that one up.
Bino. And it spawned a show. It was bad.
It was actually made after the first season.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it spawned the show.
It was written, I think, as the pilot, and then they later made it as a movie after they made the first season.
A pilot that just had all of his villains.
Yeah. It was basically an excuse for them to get the budget and all the stock footage that they could use the Bat helicopter and the Bat boat for in seasons 2 and 3.
I remember that. Because
Yeah.
they didn't have the budget for all that shit.
No,
What
but with a movie
No.
they did.
I left the frame for a minute. Yeah, that movie was shit though.
Yeah.
But that is not one of the concerns. This is the Tim Burton one to start.
1989's Batman. It had...
Yeah.
There's some things I genuinely liked about 1989's Batman.
He was Batman-y for
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
First time.
I really liked, well...
What?
I liked Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne.
I don't like that scene where he snaps. That was kind of weird. It's
Well,
like he was blowing that he's Batman.
I think that was a put on by him.
Yeah, I
And
know. It's just weird.
It was kind of weird, but I don't know.
It's just weird to see him turn into Daffy Duck for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
We didn't need that. I mean, it was a good effort.
honestly, I tend to forget that scene even happened.
That's like the only one I remember. And the bell tower, where he's killing everybody. Batman just run around blowing. Oh wait, he blew him up at the factory first.
Yeah, and then he started throwing people out of bell towers.
Oh wait, he had his car do that. He drove his car remotely there and had
Yes.
it blow people up.
Maybe he thought the factory was abandoned.
I hope there weren't any janitors cleaning it like there always are. You know, in a large facility like that. There's a cleaning crew somewhere doing something. Hopefully it wasn't 24/7. I mean, it was a chemical plant.
And honestly, wouldn't Batman have done, taken a different route to the same ends? Like, wouldn't he have informed Gotham PD that that's where all the poison was coming from so that he could hunt down the Joker while they were dealing with...
Yeah. He would have, like, given him some antidote or something if he had it. He wouldn't have just been like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just gonna have my car go blow everything up. It was stupid.
Yeah, a bit.
And then he went on a murdering rampage in Returns.
Well, before we move on to Returns, we have to talk about the scene with the Batwing where he was trying to gun down the Joker.
I forgot about that. With guns.
Yeah.
Big guns.
Lots of
Military
them.
grade.
Missiles and everything, and...
Yeah. And he just failed.
Yeah.
Like, he just failed to kill him. They did a bad job of making it look like he wasn't trying to, so I'm guessing he was trying to, and he just fucked up.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because he didn't have his guns set to adjust. They're just stuck like this, and Joker's standing here, he's like, pew, 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 pew. And he's like, oh, too bad you don't know how to, like, shift your plane over or move your guns. I guess I'm safe. Take my balloons, asshole.
Now we can move on to Returns.
When he successfully killed lots of clowns.
Yes, like jamming dynamite down their pants and shoving them down laundry chutes.
Oh, gosh. Who else did he kill?
Oh.
Did he kill Penguin?
No. Penguin got shot and eventually just keeled over and died.
That's right. Who shot him? The guy that got killed by Catwoman later?
Christopher Walken killed him.
Yeah. Wasn't that the guy that got killed by Catwoman?
Yeah, with the stupid electrified kiss.
Yeah. And she survived that, I guess.
Because cats have 9 lives.
She's not a metahuman.
No.
She's a spandex human.
For some reason, they decided she needed to be, like, supernaturally powered in that film.
Only slightly. Like, she doesn't die.
And she wasn't really a cat burglar either. She was more a terrorist. Because she was, like, blowing up department stores and shit. Instead of...
She was a cat lady.
stealing.
She was a cat lady who got her powers from, like, 40 cats licking her.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. That's
No.
not even mystically cool or anything. That's just... There's a bunch of cats licking you, and now you're superpowered. You can die a lot.
There's the one thing that always kind of bothers me about that movie is the part where Christopher Walken's character is shocked to see Selena Kyle back at work the next day after he'd just shoved her out of an upper story office building window. And it's like, did he not bother to follow up on that whatsoever?
Yeah.
He shoved her out of the window of his office and didn't, call security. Hey, why don't you go pick up that body that's at the, just outside my window.
Yeah, he hit it as well as Jason Todd did that one time he killed that guy. And Batman's like, did you just shove somebody off the fucking balcony? And he's just like, no, he fell. That's about as well as Christopher Walken. That's his name, that's all I care about. Christopher Walken covered it just as well.
I think his character's name was Max Shrek, which is...
That was it. I knew it was Max something. I was thinking like Max Power. Like Max, that's Homer Simpson's name in an episode
No,
of
for
Futurama.
for no reason whatsoever, they decided to steal the name of the actor that played Nosferatu.
Maybe it's because Christopher Walken looks a little weird. Not Nosferatu weird.
No.
But he has superpowers like dancing in the sky or some shit in that dancing video. I don't know.
What?
I'm trying to make a link here.
Insert clip here,
If
you can be bothered.
Yeah. I'm already gotta edit all the slow shit out of this. Like this. Anyway.
Next, we should talk about my personal vote for the worst Batman movie.
Are we sure we're done with Returns, though?
Well,
The Penguin. I almost forgot.
okay,
That
let's
is
talk
not
about the Penguin. The Penguin in the comics is a very distinguished, like, refined criminal.
Yes.
He wears suits and
He's a crime lord, not some fucking weird...
mutant shrieking baby thing that got abandoned in a sewer.
And has robotic or brainwashed, controlled penguin shits. I don't know what the deal was with that.
And he's oozing black goo out of his mouth
Yeah, what is
throughout
that?
the entire film.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Penguins don't do that. Like, Tim Burton. What the fuck?
And for the mind-controlled penguins, shouldn't Mad Hatter have been in the movie to some capacity to explain that?
Yeah.
That would have explained so much, and yet they decided, no, we're just going to have Penguin, Catwoman, and Christopher Walken.
I like that. Penguin, Catwoman, and Christopher Walken. But he never once dances in the sky or turns into a vampire. Like
or
we know
tries
he
to
can.
thwart the country bears.
I'm not gonna ask. Let me see. Is that everything with Returns? I think it is. Well, there's Batman Forever next.
Yeah.
Which you're saying, and I kind of agree, is the worst. Easily.
If you look at this, at Batman Forever, it's such a spotty movie. Hello, cat.
There's his tail, somewhat.
Unlike Batman and Robin, which knows what it wants to be. It knows it wants to be a campy, homage to Batman 66.
And Arnold Freeze was a potentially amazing Freeze.
Yeah.
Even with the puns.
Between the puns, he was an amazing portrayal of Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Which I think he doesn't get enough credit for that.
No, he doesn't. He was actually, like, scary as Mr. Freeze.
There were parts where you actually felt bad for him, which is a major staple of the character.
Yeah.
And unlike that, there's just so many holes in Batman Forever. I'm not even entirely convinced it's supposed to be in the same series as the previous two films. Because, really, the only returning characters played by the same actors are Alfred and Gordon? Was Gordon in it? I think so.
Think.
Briefly,
Yeah.
if at all. But
Who wasn't even Gordon-like.
no.
He was more like the Bino Gordon.
Yeah. Those are like the only two returning characters played by the same actors. So, really, it could be in the same series of movies, but in a lot of ways I don't think it makes sense that it would be.
No, but he does. One thing I like is he does seem to be reformed from killing. When he was telling Robin not to kill people.
Oh, yeah.
Because he realizes he went fucking apeshit in Returns. Just a little crazy with it. And just practically knifing bitches. And then he stopped doing that. And he's like, you know what? Robin, don't kill people. It's actually pretty bad. I feel pretty bad for killing like 40 people. So, don't do it. And don't do another shitty Batman movie.
One of the things that bothers me every time I see Batman Forever is they clearly couldn't get Billy D. Williams to reprise the role of Harvey Dent.
And he's just white.
So
He's just white now.
No, that's not even Harvey Dent as Two-Face.
That wasn't Harvey Dent?
No. I saw the film recently, and Two-Face, before he was Two-Face, his name was Harvey Two-Face. That's how
right.
That's how they circumvent the whole.
I never picked up on that.
It's Tommy Lee Jones instead of Billy D. Williams.
I heard them saying it. They're like, he was Harvey Two-Face, but it never registered that was his last name. I was just like, it just didn't connect. I was like, that's Harvey Dent, and they're saying Harvey Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that now. And the coin. His abuse of the coin. He's like, oh, I didn't get what I wanted.
Flip it until he gets the result he wants. That's not how Two-Face operates.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get the result he wants, he still rolls with it because that's what the coin dictated.
Yeah, because he still has a moral side to him.
Yeah.
He's supposed to have a good side and then that monster side that he created in his own mind. Not supposed to be the Joker.
The district attorney, Harvey Dent, is still supposed to be in there to some degree, but maybe since it's not Harvey Dent, Harvey Two-Face must have a much looser set of morals.
Yeah, he was a shit lawyer. He was an asshole. He's fucking politicking behind the scenes to win his cases, I guess. Or shooting people, since he's insane. I mean, everybody acted like the Joker in that movie. The Riddler.
Batman Forever, if nothing else, makes the already brilliant Bruce Timm Batman the Animated Series shine even brighter because the stories for the two main villains in that movie, Two-Face and Riddler, they are so much better in Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, they actually acted like them.
Yeah.
Except for in that one. The only one I can remember is the first episode of the new animation style. They didn't really... I don't remember them using the coin much. They just had him acting like an asshole. Still better than Tommy Lee Jones's version.
That was just weird. And then, Jim Carrey as the Riddler. It's a decent casting decision if the only version of the Riddler we're aware of is Frank Gorshin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear that Jim Carrey was channeling Frank Gorshin throughout the entire movie.
And just like in the BiBunal movie and show, whenever you had the Riddler and the Joker on screen together, they were trying to outdo each other, and it was horrible for everyone, because each of them is trying to out-crazy the other and trying to be more memorable than the other, and you end up with a Riddler that's acting stupid.
And you know there's a problem when in Batman 1966, there's that one scene where the Joker is like, bro, calm your shit down. You're acting too crazy. To the Riddler.
Yeah, that is a problem. The Joker should not be telling the Riddler to calm down. Unfortunately, in Batman Forever, we didn't have anybody doing that. Instead, they were just ramping each other up until the scene ended. Mercifully.
Thank God.
Not mercifully, because then it ended back with Pouty Man as Batman and Chris O'Donnell. Who's alright, I guess.
Val Kilmer as Batman is one of the worst casting choices I can think of. He did nothing for the role.
That's my Val Kilmer face. I'm trying to just hold it. Batman and Bruce Wayne. No difference.
And
no difference.
Your voice was too threatening to be Val Kilmer there.
Oh yeah, because he's more kind of
just a guy.
Yeah, just like narrating National Geographic or something. I don't fucking know what he's doing.
But that brings us back to Michael Keaton as Batman. You know, he as Bruce Wayne felt like just a guy for the most part.
Yeah.
And then, you know, put the cowl on and he looked pretty intimidating. You know, he had the voice, you know, that
Yeah.
actually kind of seemed threatening. Then we go to Val Kilmer, and it's just, he's still just a guy.
Oh, and he had rubber nipples.
That wasn't until the next film.
Batman Forever? There was nipples.
Were there?
I'm pretty sure. They at least had the dress-up scene with the butt.
Oh, yeah.
Closing in on both of their butts when Robin finally got his rubber suit. So, and neon lights. Can't forget that. That's like the major part of that movie is neon lights everywhere.
Like how the one scene where Dick Grayson goes off with the Batmobile when he's not even Robin yet, and he confronts those criminals in the alleyway
That are covered in neon?
they're covered in the paint that glows in the black light, and of course there's black light everywhere. And
Didn't they have
what
glow
the
stick
hell?
weapons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were just these weird poles. It was almost like they were beating him with halogen or whatever those fucking light bulbs are.
Yeah.
I don't even remember, but like hitting him with them, you expect it to shatter and turn into glass, like backyard wrestling or something. It's like, no, that's just a neon pole. I don't know what it's made of. I'm fucking beating his ass with them.
Yeah, that's one of the major things I think brings the canonicity of the latter two films into question compared to the Tim Burton films. It's like the Tim Burton films had this like dark gothic feel to them, and then for no reason that they've covered whatsoever, we've got neon lights and giant naked man statues all over.
Oh yeah.
But that's for the next film.
Was it? It was only in the next one? And the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah.
That showed up.
But and R. Kelly singing that Gotham's the city of love, but again, that's the next film.
Oh, that was Batman and Robin. Because Kiss from a Rose was Batman Forever.
What?
Kiss from a Rose.
It was?
Yeah. I think he wrote that song for the movie, or they just tied it in. That's how I know about that song. It's because of Batman Forever. Yep.
Damn it. This movie's worse the more we talk about it.
I thought you knew that. I thought that was just a fact of life.
I was just
something new.
Wow.
And there's that Mortal Kombat Genesis game and Super Nintendo, I think, and maybe PlayStation. So it's just the Mortal Kombat engine, and you don't know where to grapple, you don't know how to drop down, and everybody's just like the uppercuts in there as the uppercut. Same effects. Everybody's just generic villains.
The thing is, that was one of the first like beat 'em up games we ever had.
Yeah, I think it might have been the first one I ever played at your house.
So that was like our gold standard for
Yeah.
beat 'em up games for so long.
Fuck Final Fight or Streets of Rage or Golden Axe or
Batman
anything.
Forever for the Genesis.
If the man wants to play, we'll play.
And then there was the completely exceptional versus mode.
It was just Mortal Kombat, wasn't it? I remember that
without
shit.
any sort of like finishers or anything, so
Yeah.
it was Mortal Kombat without any of the reason to play Mortal Kombat.
But who the fuck even knows how to do Mortal Kombat finishers? So it's just Mortal Kombat. Like, there's no pause menu telling you what to do, and no internet. Al
No.
Gore didn't invent that yet.
But if we're gonna talk about the Batman video games,
Well, that we would have to save. I just had to bring up the Forever one.
oh yeah, because it's such an important part of our development into the well-adjusted adults we are today. Talking about shitty Batman movies for the internet.
I'm trying to. Have we covered all of Forever? Besides the weird designs for everything, like the Batmobile looking like shit, overly veiny or something. Lines. I don't know what.
Was
It
that the one
was.
that Drew Carey had sex in?
Yep, it's the one he got in the Drew Carey show.
That's like one of the few things I even remember from the Drew Carey show is that the
The Batmobile.
Batmobile was in one episode and he had sex in it, so they took it back.
So dumb. WB, did a good job with that one. That's how you cross-promote that shit.
I'm not convinced of that.
And then there's Batman Forever.
Everything that's been said
For
about
Robin.
Batman Forever.
I'm not Batman and Robin, but
Yeah.
finish that thought. Finish
Okay.
him.
Everything that can be said about Batman and Robin already has been said like a million times on the internet.
We're 100% certain there are rubber nipples in that one.
Yes, but not on any of the characters you'd like to see them on.
It'd be really weird to see them on Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
Why aren't anyone all over that? That's sexist. That is sexist.
Go get him, Tumblr.
Don't bring Tumblr into this. Please don't bring Tumblr into this. You've already brought them into this by saying,
Unleash the Hounds.
yeah, just by saying that the characters we wanted to have them on don't have them. Like, equal opportunity though. Everybody gets rubber nips,
Everyone.
including Captain Falcon. But yeah.
King Dippy 2016. Rubber nips for everyone.
That's my. I'll even use the music.
That's your political platform. Rubber nips for everyone.
Yep, with the Randy Orton pose to King of Kings, just to match, and the cheeseburger mask, which is the Kane mask. Okay, so Batman and Robin, is that what we were talking about? Nipples. Yeah. Everybody's got nipples and butts. Mm-hmm. We know that. They make sure that we know that. I don't think the new suits had nipples, but they still had butts. We did see those.
Uma Thurman was wasted in this movie.
She seemed like it, now that you bring it up.
I meant, they wasted her in it.
Oh.
But that's also entirely possible.
Because her eyes are always like...
Yeah, she did not seem like she was in this movie at all.
No, it still seems like she kind of tried. I honestly don't think she was a good choice for Poison Ivy.
No.
Like, there's someone way hotter they could have had. And
but I mean...
a little less campy.
But, in terms of marquee value, she was a good choice. She was going to draw people in because people were really big on Uma Thurman at the time.
And George Clooney.
Yeah, that's another marquee value choice, I'm sure.
And Arnold. That's the only one that worked out.
Right.
Let's kick some ice. That pun is amazing.
Freeze well. That's still... That's one of the
sense.
worst ones, in my opinion.
It makes no sense. Is it like sleep well? What are you getting at?
Is he saying farewell?
I didn't even think about that, because it doesn't even sound like it.
No. I just got a couple of the same letters.
You know who we're forgetting? Mr. Payne. I forgot about Mr. Payne.
It's easy to forget he was in that movie because he was such a non-entity in that movie. He didn't do anything.
Brilliant strategist and lethal fighter overall with his own, like, crime lord underground shit. And he's just some guy in a fucking unitard with steroids.
But we've got plenty more to talk about Bane for a later part of this video.
Yes, we do.
What else? What else?
They beat him by kicking his tubes out because he's an idiot. So he just held them up, and his tubes came out like that. Shoddy construction.
Considering how much of Batman was trying to be a loner in the Burton films, and how much of a parent he was in Batman and Robin. Like, everything he was doing was motivated in, trying to raise Dick Grayson and later Barbara Pennyworth.
Because Jim Gordon was too fucked up in these movies to use as her father. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They couldn't have him related to that weird old man that's like, ah! And Batman Forever when they're flying through the question mark, which it dissipated it. That was a light, and he dissipated it, whatever. So back to Batman and Robin. Let's not go back to Forever.
I hate to retread things that have already been said by other reviews of Batman and Robin, but why in the hell wasn't Barbara Pennyworth played by a British actress, or at least someone who could fake a British accent if she came from England.
Did she? I thought
Yeah.
that,
She was away at school in England. She's the niece of Alfred, and
It faded. It just
Okay.
faded. She came to Gotham.
it
She's like,
faded while she was in England?
no, right when she came to Gotham.
Oh.
As soon as that plane hit the airport, she's like, blimey. This city smells like ass. Where's my accent? And then we see Chris O'Donnell playing with socks. And that's all the training you ever really see him do. But that's alright. I mean, Batman and Robin are infighting. Robin kind of looks like Nightwing just because. And they end up coming back together, so no Nightwing.
Well, that's another major failing for that movie, I think, is that they picked someone much too old for Robin.
Yeah, he seemed middle-aged. No offense, but he just...
Chris O'Donnell, I don't know how old he was when they shot Batman Forever, but he was too old to be playing Boy Wonder Dick Grayson.
Which I think they actually called him that in Forever.
Wouldn't surprise me. Another reason to hate that fucking movie.
Yeah. It was just awful.
Yeah. What else?
Well, there was... I don't know. I mean, Batman and Robin was just bad because it was just campy. I mean...
It wasn't...
It tried to be that.
It was a glorified homage to the 66 Batman.
Yeah. Which is the one...
Even down to the Bat credit card.
Expiring forever. So it's always expired.
Yeah.
It's useless. Don't accept this card. It's from a guy wearing a mask with the name Batman, so there's a problem, and it expires forever.
Who would issue a credit card to Batman?
Yeah,
Why
that
would
joke
Batman
raises
need
questions.
a credit card?
Yeah. Because you
He's
don't
a
want anybody to
billionaire.
know that. No one can know that. He's Batman.
So then, who gave Batman that kind of credit?
The UN.
The UN.
Yeah.
Of course.
Go fight crime in this shithole city. Here's a credit card. And it expires all the time. Yes. That's what, they didn't mean for it to work out. Here's a middle-aged partner. But anyway, did Joel Schumacher apologize for both, or was it just Forever?
I don't know.
I think he apologized for both.
I know there's the long-standing urban legend that if you ever encounter George Clooney and complain about Batman and Robin, he'll refund your ticket admission.
I wonder if Arnold would do that. Arnold never made any ice puns during that time when he was promoting that dieting fitness shit. I don't know what he was promoting. Somebody just had him do a bunch of different quotes. And I think they told him is for diet tips just to get him to do them. And he did them. I never once heard a Freeze quote. Nobody. Those are some of his memorable ones too. And that camera just recognized my face. Yeah, but no, I never heard a Freeze quote. So maybe he just tries to forget it completely.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Which brings us to the next one. I don't know if it's going to be the same video, though. Maybe we can cut it and make a sequel. But that's for post. So... keep it rolling. Camera guy, which is my TV.
Train keeps rolling.
My TV's our camera guy.
Hi, TV.
Your TV. Anyway, so, Batman Begins.
So is that in-joke gonna make it into the,
Probably. They don't even know.
Oh my, like 3 people are gonna get that. And they're probably not even gonna see this video.
Unless I pester them to watch it. Always pester your friends to watch your shit. Just don't do that. Just don't. Anyway, so the next movie.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, the one this is the part of the video or the video, because I don't know if I'm gonna cut it yet. That'll make us get really fucking loved. It's just awkward silence. I kind of wanted to sustain it, so I just stared at my GameCube. Just, how long can I hold it? Anyway, Batman Begins. It was actually pretty good.
It wasn't without its flaws, but it's pretty decent.
It gave us hope because Batman acted like Batman. He was hiding in the shadows. He disappeared on Gordon that one time, which, by the way, Arrow's not supposed to do, but whatever. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Well, since we've been on a bit of a roll with our string of negatives, I think they squandered Scarecrow, starting with this film.
Yeah, he's just some throwaway side villain.
Yeah. He sort of got the Bane treatment from the previous film.
It's because he was too out there. He wasn't realistic enough. That's the problem with that trilogy is if they're too out there and unrealistic, they're not. They're either grounded too much or they're just turned into Scarecrow and thrown away.
I mean, they picked a pretty great actor to play Scarecrow, and then they just didn't really do anything with him.
No, he was just being used to release his fear gas, and that was all he was there for.
Yeah. Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul was.
I liked it at first, but it is kind of a weird choice.
Yeah.
Considering Ra's is like Persian or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's just Hollywood racism. Just picking white guys for roles that white guys.
They sort of whitewashed the character.
Yeah, and fused him with the guy that actually trained Batman, Henry Ducard, who I know enough to know that's Batman's like trainer in the 90s and 80s and whatever.
It's supposed to be a separate character.
Not an inherently evil douchebag.
Yeah. What else?
There's the fact that Batman left him to die. When he goes out of his way to save people, even if they're bad.
It's sort of a recurring theme with these Batman movies is that the one major thing about Batman is he's not supposed to kill or let people die. And repeatedly throughout these movies, he kills and lets people die.
Mm-hmm.
And
early on he did in the comics, but the editors changed that, I guess, when he gunned a giant monster down. They're like, at least that's how I read it, and they're like, get rid of the guns, and let's stop that killing thing too, because, you know, that time he swung from a rope and broke a guy's neck in a fucking window? That's not too nice, so let's tone that down. I never do it again.
And it became a defining characteristic of Batman.
Mm-hmm. He's had his no-kill policy longer than his kill policy.
Yeah.
Although the sheer violence of it almost makes up for the time. But that's why he doesn't kill anymore. When you leave somebody to burn to death, I don't know, you kind of don't look like a hero we can sympathize with. So they stopped that. Anyway.
Bit of a side note. A little bit of a tangent here. That's something I don't think Frank Miller truly understands about the character of Batman.
He understands Batman?
He doesn't seem to comprehend Batman's adherence to the no-kill policy. Because All-Star Batman and Robin, when Batman's driving the Batmobile clean through a police car.
Kind of like in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Which, that's the thing, this trilogy is well, at least that one's based on Year One, which was a good Frank Miller work.
Yeah. It was one of Frank Miller's least offensive Batman works.
I think a lot of that's because he was just a normal guy still, not even being Batman. So you couldn't make him insane to begin with.
Yeah.
Even he knew that. But yeah, I mean, he didn't in the Dark Knight comics. He didn't really go killing anybody. The Dark Knight Returns.
No.
I mean, but in the sequel, Strikes Again, he went nuts. Loved wearing tights. That's what it became more about than being Batman. But anyway, the movies.
Yeah, let's We can discuss the Frank Miller phenomenon in a later video.
It will be coming up more in this one, though.
It will.
Because the movie's become very certain. A new certain cinematic universe is showing a heavy reliance on his work already, and it's not even out yet.
As did a later installment in the trilogy we're talking about. But, back to Batman Begins.
I think we pretty much covered it. We got to the end. They threw away Scarecrow. They left Ra's al Ghul to die and merged him with an important character in Batman's life.
But credit where it's due, it does have its good sides.
Yeah, it was a good movie overall.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
a
got
good
a lot
movie.
of Batman-y things to it, and
It's pretty much the only good Batman movie. Like, it's The Port in the Storm.
if you're going into a Batman movie to experience
Batman?
the story of Batman portrayed accurately, Batman Begins is pretty much the closest you're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he acts the most like Batman here. There's only that one glaring spot where he leaves his mentor to die. But, which is weird because he saves him when they're falling down the ice.
Yeah, but that's when he didn't know it was actually Ra's al Ghul.
That's true, but he did know he was a murderous asshole.
Yeah.
Because they were like, murder this guy.
Uh-huh.
So,
But because he wasn't the leader, it was okay to save him. But now that he knew he was the leader, he needed to die.
yeah. I like that one trick to beat him. He's like, don't you know any new moves? And he's like, yeah, this, I break your sword. Like, nobody in your organization did that before? Did you guys not remember the shape of those gauntlets is a little familiar?
The sword-catching gauntlets, you know.
It's a little familiar. I know we painted them to make them shiny, but they've been used by you guys. That's your design. You didn't make those. He stole them from you. Nobody thought to, break. That's world's most brilliant detective.
Yep.
I mean, that's why everybody's got like a lower IQ.
Oh, we haven't discussed how shitty of a detective he's been in all these movies.
Yeah, he was horrible. He wasn't really good at anything. He's just like, Morgan Freeman, can you make me this? Or no, it was already made. He just went to his tech department and just took millions of dollars of resources from him.
Can I slap bat logos all over this?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
I do like how quickly Morgan Freeman figured it out, though. He's like, this motherfucker is Batman. The minute he took the suit, he's like, I'm not buying the spelunking shit. And then by the time he gets drugged, he's like, you're Batman. Okay, Batman's not even fucking famous yet, but you're him, asshole. Don't even fucking tell me that's not you. I mean, that's our suit. So, I mean, that was cool. And the Tumbler. It's not exactly a Batmobile, but it's still awesome at killing cops.
What I want to know
Not saying
is,
that's good. It's just, he just runs over cops, like, everywhere. Just
why was Morgan Freeman, not Lucius Fox, Morgan Freeman, the only one to recognize the Tumbler? You think?
because he turned the lights off on the
okay.
road to go in stealth mode.
And that makes it invisible because immediately the spotlight from the helicopter drifts off.
Yeah, and he turned his headlight off, and even though they were driving next to him, they're like,
Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
he disappeared, he teleported. And he's driving on churches and shit with it. How do you even know where to drive once you get on rooftops?
I don't know.
You get off the overpass onto a church, and from there it's just like, fuck.
Maybe he was using GPS.
Damn good one. Jump off
One
this
that didn't
Catholic
lose,
church.
lose signal in the tunnel.
Yeah. And was able to recognize that he was on a church. I think we're running out of memory.
Oh, damn it.
It's okay. I'll just fix that quickly. Ugh. There's my crotch.
Yay.
Now we got some more memory, bud.
Alright. So where we left
Okay.
off? Batman
On a church.
rooftops.
Yeah, on rooftops with his GPS telling him where to go. So, yeah. He dropped bolos and shit on the cops, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Like ball and chains and
Yeah,
stuff.
just like blowing up cop cars and shit.
He didn't kill anybody, though.
No.
Miraculously. Um, let's see. There's that gliding, that impossible gliding with that cape, but he does it in the comics without a cape that glides.
Yeah, without the exoskeleton cape
Yeah.
nonsense.
Yeah, that's just BS. I like this suit. It looked like a panther. That big friggin' neck. And it didn't have nipples. Finally. It had been a while.
It was too armory.
Yeah, that's a problem they all have. It's just too much armor.
Yeah.
Like, how do you sneak around with a leather cape and rubber armor that's an inch thick? You just hear all this, like, squeaking and scraping.
Squeaking and clanking and rattling and
Yeah.
flapping up in the rafters while you're trying to do a drug deal.
Yeah.
Hey Marv, what's that noise? Oh, it's just Batman. We're
Yeah.
trying to ignore him. Maybe he'll go away.
Yep. Just in the middle of a drug deal. They're like, motherfucker. Just go on with it. Go. Maybe he'll fall off. I'm sure that suit adds like 40 pounds to his weight, which ideal for sneaking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's all black, so he can hide.
Yeah.
But he probably weighs like 300 pounds with it. Even, here's the thing, like, the actors always complain about how unbearable it was to wear the suit.
Mm-hmm.
So why did they design it like that? Why not design something Batman would actually wear and
Yeah.
could wear all night?
Like an Under Armour outfit or something.
Yeah.
Something
Simple cow.
Something that'll breathe and isn't gonna restrict movement, and
Make you have a headache and smell like latex.
it's not gonna take 6 hours to take off the pants so you can take a poop.
Yeah. They pretty much glue the suit to you. Like, you really think Batman? Why don't you make a suit Batman can actually wear? They're still not doing that, but
We'll get to that later.
yeah, because I mean we're also talking about what will be.
We're talking about Batman past, present, and future.
Which speaking of that, another thing about the suit, the fucking eyeliner, the black rings all around the eyes.
Mhm.
Like, I've done that before. I've worn the mask. It's not fun. That shit takes forever to get out, and I really doubt Batman would do that. Like in real life, it's not practical at all. It's stupid.
Do you think Batman keeps like a pack of wet naps in the dashboard of the Batmobile so that he can?
Yeah, and then in the movie, it begins when he takes his helmet off. When he's rescuing Rachel, his eyes are miraculously unpainted. Then when he puts the mask back on, which the mask has these wide holes, but it's all black around his eyes.
We forgot to talk about the best part of Batman Returns.
What? When he just randomly unmasks for Catwoman?
He doesn't pull the cowl off. He rips the mask off.
Because it's glued to him. Every night. New cowl. Alfred must have been sick of that shit, because Alfred was the one making the suits. They implied, so...
Oh, for fuck's sake, Master Bruce! Another one?
Well, it's time for 5 more hours in the lab. Fuck. Okay, he's got to cast it and mold it again and sculpt a new one. I hope. And I think that's how they still are, too, is just glued to him. With the exception of the biker outfit Batman, which we'll get to, but...
We might as well get to it now. I don't think there's a whole lot more we can say about Batman Begins.
Except for the voice.
Right.
Which started there, which carries on.
We can understand Batman wanting to conceal his voice, hide it, disguise it when he's in costume.
Yes.
But something that happens in the Nolan trilogy is even when he's talking to people that know his identity, if he's got the mask on, he's using the black lung cancer voice.
Which, where did that come from? It was like what Kevin Conroy said. Like, nobody was telling him it was a bad voice, and I guess he didn't hear it back enough to know it was stupid. Like, it's been said a million times. I'm gonna say it again. Who the fuck told him that was okay?
People that aren't super familiar with the American English accent. They have so much trouble understanding what the fuck Batman is saying in those movies.
Oh yeah, because they
Like,
have to adapt
overseas-
to our accent and to that deep growly voice.
Yeah, I've read all sorts of accounts of people needing subtitles for those movies just so they can understand what Batman's saying. Why?
It's not even that intimidating.
No, it seems like a 4-year-old trying to seem scary, like on the playground.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's horrible and it's awful. And the first time I heard it was I was watching WB. I don't know what the fuck I was watching. I hope it wasn't Smallville, but it probably was. And then that promo came on. Batman drops down when he's handing a file to Rachel, and he's just like, "Here's this file." And it's like, what the fuck is that? Like, I was kind of taken aback, but it was the first time I saw Batman in movies. I was like, oh, alright, that's cool. It's Batman. It's not his voice. Whatever. We'll just compartmentalize it.
Just no one was challenging Christian Bale, I guess.
No. Maybe he's got an ego. Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah. But, anyways, this is speculation. Shitty voice. Not speculating on that. There's the camera. But then that's like the end of the good Batman movies. Forever, it seems like. Forever.
Well, we've said that Batman Begins was the best movie if you're going for a Batman experience.
Yeah.
But I would say, on the other side of the coin, if you're going to a Batman movie for a good movie,
You'll
not
get
necessarily
that.
a good Batman movie,
Yeah.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah, you'll get a good movie, just not a good Batman movie.
Yeah.
You get a good rendition of like a psychotic, evil Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
Aside from Mark Hamill.
Yeah, but there were still restrictions on what Mark Hamill could get away with,
Yeah.
and Tim Burton could get not Tim Burton, Bruce Timm, Bruce Timm could get away with for a Saturday morning kids cartoon.
They still pushed it though.
Oh, they
They
did.
pushed that envelope.
They pushed that so hard.
Yeah.
But the thing that sticks out for The Dark Knight for everyone who's pretty much ever seen this movie is, of course, Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh, you just like this more than, and you just like this and hate Rises because Heath Ledger died. It's like, sorry, Tom Hardy could have died. Would have not liked Rises. It wouldn't have changed my opinion.
But
Sorry.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to Rises.
Yeah. 'Cause I didn't even like Heath Ledger going into this. I just thought he was a pretty boy actor.
And it's a crying shame that he sold himself as a great character actor to us in his last full film.
Yeah.
That's really the tragedy of it, I think. Is that, you know, a lot of people liked him because he was a pretty boy actor, you know? They were thinking he's going to be the next Brad Pitt or whatever.
I think he was better than that.
Oh, yeah. I can't really think of too many movies Brad Pitt's been in where I'm watching it and thinking, that's pretty amazing acting there.
That could be another topic. Like those
Yeah.
Brad Pitt movies, neither of us even really like him. We're going to have a vlog or whatever about Brad Pitt.
Oh boy.
When we start scraping the barrel.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff we could bitch about before we get to Brad Pitt movies.
That's how you know your show is shit. When you've gotten to the Brad Pitt movies. like, guys, I hate to say this. This video's about Brad Pitt. We're done for! There's just boxes everywhere because they're packing. We tried. We fought as long as we could. Entropy kicked in, and now we're talking about Brad Pitt.
We'll meet again. Don't know. Anyway,
What the fuck are we talking about? Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
That started the Brad Pitt tangent.
But going into this movie, I didn't know a whole lot about Heath Ledger.
I thought they were just farming him from Brokeback Mountain just as a marquee thing, which they probably kind of did.
I hadn't even seen Brokeback Mountain until after I saw The Dark Knight.
Was that even a good movie, or was it just controversial because of its topic?
We're going on another tangent again.
I just want to know. Fuck what this video's about. I just want to know. Was it even decent?
It was a very well put together film. It actually deserves a lot of the credit it got. And some of the awards, sure, but otherwise, a lot of the attention it got was because of the controversial topic and nature of the film.
Yeah.
But I don't think that should detract anything from the fact it was a pretty well made film.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Dark Knight again.
Brad Pitt and Brokeback Mountain. Another video topic.
Oh boy.
Just came up with another one for when we're dying. Combined topics.
Oh boy.
Anyway, Heath Ledger was great as the Joker.
Oh yeah.
It was really organic, gritty, grounded. Everything's grounded in this trilogy. Yeah. He still managed to be a good Joker, even with all the realism that's pounded in our faces. That's gross.
Something that sort of stretched the realism almost to the breaking point in this film, though, I think was Two-Face.
The way he died?
Well, the fact that someone that fucked up is refusing drugs and is still able to walk around and not scream in agony the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, we're supposed to believe it's because he's mad that his girlfriend just died.
There's limitations to that.
Yeah. And despite all this, he still let the Joker live based on a coin toss.
Yeah.
We're being grounded in realism while leaving the realism behind completely. They call that bad writing where I come from.
Yeah. But that sort of thing happens in big dumb action movies, and that's in a lot of ways what this film was.
Yeah. But fun fact about writing, because I remembered who the writer is. And I'm trying to remember what it was he said. This also got downloaded on Reddit, because I said something about him.
Uh-oh.
About how inept he was, how our Batman writer, forever, for the cinematic movies, is inept in his knowledge about comics, because he called She-Hulk a porn star, and he thought Martian Manhunter was a lame superhero because he spends all his days hiding on Earth as a detective. Definitely not. This is definitely not, a secret identity like everyone else has, except Iron Man. I mean, whatever. So, yeah, that's the guy writing these movies, and that's the whole realism going awry with Two-Face.
Yep.
There's the fact that Batman killed him.
Yeah.
Flat out fucking killed him.
He tackled him out of, second, third story of a building under construction.
Which he also fell from.
Oh, yeah. But he used his friend Harvey Dent as a meat shield so that he could survive.
Yeah.
Even though he was wearing, 40 pounds of armor.
Didn't even try to save him, even though, as you were saying, Harvey Dent was incredibly fucked up physically, which had to fuck him up mentally. So, obviously, he wasn't all there, but nope, that's a criminal. He's trying to kill somebody. Bam! Bye.
And then, not even, 10 minutes earlier in the film, Batman goes to great lengths to save the Joker, who is also falling out of a building.
Yeah, which I found weird. Because he didn't do that for Ra's. It would have been really easy to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't do it for Two-Face, but it was fine with saving the Joker. The architect for everything in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the person who just killed the love of his life.
Uh-huh.
He can't help himself. Harvey Dent is a bad man. Even though he's half gone, mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And everything's so real. Biker suit. Finally, they create a cowl where you can turn your head because that's so fucking important. So important that we see Batman turn his head. You know, it ruins the films for me when I can't see Batman do this. like, oh gosh, I've gone 90 minutes and I haven't seen Batman turn his head. Oh, 5 out of 20.
To be fair, I think that was a knee-jerk reaction to people complaining that the fight scenes in Begins were the editing for them with a lot of quick cuts because
And close-up camera angles.
yeah, because of the limitations of being able to turn his head.
Yeah, and they were also, like, in the documentary for the first movie, they were, surprise, surprise, going for a very realistic-looking fight scene. So Krav Maga, they just had Batman go to the mountains in wherever he went, I don't remember, to learn Krav Maga, which you can learn anywhere. Whatever. So yeah, that's what he was fighting with. Nothing else really. A lot of elbows and cameras right in on his face. Even with the new magic cowl, the dick neck or the dick head, because it's like a shaft, and then there's his helmet with the little pointy ears and makes his head look wide and it makes him look like a child because he's got that pencil neck with that cowl wrapped around his fucking neck.
A lot of people refer to it as the BMX helmet, but hey, the dick neck is good too.
The first time I saw it, I thought it was a BMX suit. It leaves all these open spots to get knifed. Which, after a dog bit him and chewed him up at the beginning of that movie, he's like, "Hey, Lucius, I need a different suit." And he's like, "Here's a suit with a bunch of gaps in your defense. And hope you don't get attacked by dogs again." And he did. Which is weird. Why are so many people bringing dogs? Stop that. And there are pit bulls. Maybe.
Controversial.
Tumblr?
Tumblr?
Tumblr? No, not Tumblr. But, yeah, that suit. The overly grounded realism. Still a good movie.
Yeah.
Then he had his bike, which had guns on it. I was about to move on, and I forgot that.
Like cannons.
Yeah. Which,
But I'm glad you brought it up because this is something that occurred to me when we were discussing Batman '89. They have the two parallel scenes where Batman's riding the bike at the Joker and veers off at the last second.
mm-hmm.
That was handled a lot better than Batman in the Batwing trying to gun the Joker down and just failing.
Yeah, it failed because he got shot out of the sky, didn't it?
With a revolver.
With a really long barrel. That's how that works. A really long bullet, I guess. With a regular chamber.
A longer barrel could provide some extra power, but its primary benefit would be increased accuracy.
Yeah.
So
Maybe he hit a fuel pump.
I guess.
Although it looked more like he hit the wing and it just blew up.
Plus, nothing against Jack Nicholson, but it didn't look like he had the best grip on that thing. He was
Yeah, he's just like, he was like, bam, the thing would just fly off. Maybe even kill him.
Yeah.
Which Batman did.
By attaching a bolo to his leg that was also connected to like a gargoyle.
Yeah.
That's a shitty way to die.
He didn't even cut it. He didn't cut it for him. He just let it. He could have just whipped a batarang and cut that shit. And he just let it go. He's like, deuces. Enjoy. Yeah, so I hope you make it to your destination. I hope you've been working out them forearms, dick. But anyway, back to Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That scene was handled better. That Joker was handled better.
Batman, not so much.
Yeah, that is the major problem. Jim Gordon was good. Commissioner Gordon was finally good in those movies.
Now would be a good time to bring up Batman's shitty detective skills.
But hold on. I remembered something.
Go on.
They just threw away Scarecrow again. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just said at the beginning. Not even a Scarecrow. But yeah, hockey pad joke.
This is where they decided he was officially a joke character instead of just an underutilized sub-villain.
Yeah. Yeah, he's beaten in the beginning, and he's just a common thug.
He's dealing drugs from the back of a van.
Yeah. Not even acting like Scarecrow.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I don't really recall Batman ever using his intellect in this film to figure things out.
No, he had Lucius do that for him.
Yeah.
Especially in the scene when he's trying to take down the people who have switched places with the hostages while dealing with the SWAT team. That scene could have been so much better if he'd done it himself, used his own tactics, but we gotta go for realism. He has to have constant backup all the time. She does. He has a lot of backup, but
in the film's defense, it would be hard. It would be harder anyway to do that from a deductive point of view. They would have to do a lot of quick cuts and like internal monologue to portray what they could with Batman actually having a conversation with another person.
which is exactly what they should have done. It's just internal monologue and him thinking it out himself. He could have used gadgets to help him. Had his own like echolocation radar shit.
Yeah, but at this point in the film series, it would have seemed out of place.
Yeah.
Which is a greater problem with the whole trilogy, is that the format they went with doesn't really work for the character. Like,
No.
we need to be inside Batman's head, to understand his thought processes. And a good example of what I'm trying to get at is, even though they're not the best movies, the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes films with Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw the first one. They could have done that.
A few segments in the films where it'll cut to like bullet time where he's explaining, how things are going to work out, and then it'll play out at real time speed. I'm not saying every time there's a detective in a movie it needs to work out like that.
It just does for Batman. It really does, because he is based on Sherlock Holmes, his detective skills anyway.
Yeah.
He's a strategist.
So, now that we got that out of the way.
Just everybody holding Batman's hand way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Alfred coming by to pick him up with the Fulton recovery lift thing.
Yeah.
Him going to China to get somebody back and just leaving Gotham like that.
Yeah.
I guess he would do that, I suppose. Maybe not with the Joker running around.
No.
That would probably be the last thing he dealt with. But still. Which would have been good for an end of the movie scene. Where he goes after him at the end.
Like tying up the loose ends sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like at the very last scene could be him showing up in the office, and the guy could be like, "Hey, I got away with all this. He caught everyone else," and then all of a sudden, maybe the lights cut out.
The window blows out, and then Batman Fulton's out.
No, it would just be cool. It would just be cool if the lights cut out, and the last thing you see is the shadow of Batman, like his silhouette with the eyes. That's it, and that could be the end, because you're like, okay, he caught him. That's not realistic enough, I guess. He needs to Fulton in. He needs to have a bazooka thing to blow out windows. Because he can't just throw a sonic batarang. That's too unrealistic.
Yeah.
It's too much. Imagine a James Bond movie done by Christopher Nolan. We can't have him having good accuracy with a gun or have any of the gadgets he has. Like, nope. It's got to be thriller.
You kind of described Skyfall.
Yeah, but there's still some things here and there.
Yeah.
He would eliminate even the littlest things that were in there. Everybody would just have guns. Base guns, and that's it.
Now, I should mention, personally, I'm a huge fan of the movie Skyfall. Anyway.
Yeah, it was better than all that. The third one!
The most recent Batman film. So,
was
this
the
will be
worst.
Batman Present. You want to start?
I do, because we're going to start with, I don't even know, my brain's just like, where, Target, there's so many, there's too many. I guess we can go at the beginning, because that's the first time you see Bane with that accent. And the mask. Nobody cared about him until he put on the mask. Well, in the comics, they cared about him before he had any mask. You see him without it a lot in the Nightfall arc. Nobody gives a fuck about the mask. The mask isn't what defined him, and it certainly wasn't a medication mask that helped him because he got the crap beaten out of him. We never know how. Like, they must have really fucked him up in that prison. Like, ripped some of his organs out or something, and he needs constant pain meds. Who knows? And the doctor botched up his surgeries or something. I guess that would happen, but I don't know. Just it's a stupid way to go about that. He's the one that's supposed to be beating up everybody else. Like, they're supposed to be afraid of him, but it's not realistic.
Nope.
Not at all. So then, let me see. I don't know, you got something? I know you do. It's a good movie.
Well, contrary to how we've been doing this, I'm going to say something good about it first. In a lot of ways, I think they got Catwoman right.
Yeah, but she's too grounded.
True, but
Like, that's the theme.
but unlike the previous attempt in Batman Returns, this Catwoman is actually a cat burglar, and you know she's not blowing up apartment buildings just because, and you know she actually seems to have some semblance of the comic character in her.
Yeah, they just never call her Catwoman, but she's still more like her than any other incarnation's been.
Oh yeah.
She's not even obsessed with cats, really, because she's not really called Catwoman.
The only reason we know she's Catwoman is because the goggles flip over
Yeah,
and sort of look like ears.
that was a cop-out. Like, we're not going to give her any ears or anything to help her mask herself, just because it's all, again, too grounded. It's weird enough to have Batman, but my thing about this movie, and the biggest problem, I mean, it involves Bane. Batman's mask gets broken. Or, yeah, his mask. It did get broken. But his back. When his back gets broken. And he goes on this spiritual journey by getting his ass dragged into the prison. It's not in Santa Pena, or however it's pronounced. It's where Ra's al Ghul is. I don't know. It was somewhere really far away from Gotham. So he gets dropped in there, and his back is broken. And they hang him up, and he heals. And all of this is so that he can learn to punch Bane in the mask. Never thought to try that during the fight. Not even once. Like, hey, maybe that wrist brace has a purpose. Maybe he's got some kind of pain. Maybe I should just punch his mask because I'm fucking desperate. Nope. The big lesson he learns is, Batman, you must punch his mask. This is Kami telling him in his brain. And so he goes back and does that. He's like, hey, Bane, I know about your mask.
Speaking of Batman's mask getting broken, though, does that mean he was using the high carbon content ones from
a shitty, failed patch? He's running out, so he chiseled it off so he could just have the neck, remove the neck part. Alfred did that.
He tore too many of them off, so Alfred's just like, here, use this piece of shit.
Yeah, this is all we got left. We forgot one of the biggest parts, Batman quitting.
Oh, yeah.
Just because because Rachel died, I guess. They never say. He just stops.
Well, they imply he was still being Batman and, you know, stuff until, what was it? The power source thing. Somebody wrote an article saying that they could turn it into a bomb. So then he sort of became a recluse from that.
Because of that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he want to be more focused to stop that.
Yeah. But he stopped appearing in public, and he stopped, being Batman because somebody could turn a nuclear power source into a bomb.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how nuclear bombs started.
That's pretty much how all nuclear power sources are.
Yeah, there isn't one that can't be weaponized.
I mean, it just takes like a crack in the shielding of any nuclear power plant.
It's always a weapon. You're always in danger around it. There's no special mixture to it to turn it into a weapon. And he quit because he was scared. Like, fuck, somebody can make a weapon. I'm gonna get out of here. Maybe Batman's gone, they won't want to kill him. But he was wrong. They wanted to kill everybody anyway. Bane showed up. And why? Because he was connected to the League of Shadows.
Oh boy.
Why? Why was he connected to the League of Shadows? He's a henchman again.
Mm-hmm.
This whole movie, you think, hey, he's tacticking. He's being Bane. He beat Batman, broke his back, and he broke his back and humbled him, and threw him into a fucking pit. And
we find out at the 11th hour, he was doing it all under orders.
He's a stooge again, a henchman.
Yeah.
He quickly becomes a silent muscle type when Talia al Ghul is revealed. I think. Isn't that who she was?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was the girl that escaped from the pit. Which is kind of cool, because you see this little kid and you're like, that's a boy that got out. You're like, surprise, it's Talia al Ghul, who Roz threw down there for some reason. Makes no sense. He didn't. I don't think he did that.
He didn't throw her down there. Her grandfather threw her mother down there while she was pregnant with her.
Oh, that's right.
She was born in the stupid well prison.
And then he eventually came to rescue her, right?
No, she escaped herself.
I know, but didn't they show up or something and then rescued Bane?
Yeah, because
She's
the
sick
mother
too.
died somehow. I think there was a riot.
Yeah, the riot where she had to get out and they fucking murdered Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's all tied back to the League of Shadows. And then speaking of Talia, Batman kills her. Like, he just kills her. Flies at her with the fucking hover tank thing, blowing her up until she falls down an underpass or whatever, crashes and dies, basically.
And then before that, though, Catwoman blows up Bane with the rockets from the stupid bicycle.
Turns out they are lethal.
And Batman's just okay with that.
Didn't he give her a little crap for it? Because she was like, killing's your rule, or not mine. It's like, no, it's not really his either. Like, you'll find out in a couple minutes. It's not really his. When it's convenient, it's his rule. Two-Face, Talia, no romance there. Oh, no, they did have sex. And that was it.
Yeah.
No kid. I don't really fault them for not wanting Damian Wayne. Who gives it? It's the new comic
That would have
shit.
just complicated that
Yeah.
story even further.
Well, speaking of complicating stories and his children, remember Robin?
Yeah.
Named Robin. That's his real name. Birth name.
They totally went the route of assuming the audience was fucking stupid and decided his birth name was Robin instead of, an orphan that grew up to fight alongside Batman could have been any number of names.
Yeah.
They could have called him Dick Grayson. They could have called him Tim Drake. They could have called him Jason Todd. But
We all would have known he was Robin. We
Yeah.
all kind of figured he was Robin.
it could have just been an Easter egg for people that are actually Batman fans. Instead, they went for the broadest, dumbest possible reveal. And his birth name is Robin.
Yep. And I was promised this big reveal for him, and I was like, somebody's like, yeah, he's somebody special to Batman. And so that got me thinking he's not Robin? Who is he? Like, he's somebody else? And then, so I was thinking Damian Wayne, and I was like, I don't know how, but maybe he could be him. It's like, and then when I saw that, they're like, what's your name? And he's like, well, my birth name's Robin. I was like, hold on a second. Oh, his birth name is Robin, but that's his superhero name. And then
I'm out.
yeah, I'm glad this happened at the end of the movie because I would have gotten the fuck out of there. I'd be like, that set the tone for this whole thing. Deuces. Yeah, it was just Batman's Messiah complex. That's the next target.
Yeah. In a lot of ways, I feel they completely mischaracterized Batman throughout, well, to a degree throughout the trilogy, but it really came through in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I feel what they went with was more of a human version of Superman than what should have been Batman.
Yeah. He kept talking about how the people needed him, which this cinematic universe, the new one, has that too, with them treating Superman like he's Jesus, and the people need you, they'll rise into the sun with you. And that's pretty much what happened in The Dark Knight Rises. Is like, hey, I'm the one that they need, and I don't fucking remember his quote. The one they deserve but don't need, or some shit. Yeah, and then he goes and they build a statue for him, and he's like, I'm not done until this. Well, you're not really supposed to be done until ever, but go ahead, take care of Bane and just retire in the middle of nowhere like Batman would.
And then go have sex with a cat burglar that kills people.
Yup. And then he's like, the climax of that movie's in broad daylight. I guess Batman's got to fight whenever he can, but, which I forgot. Across the globe, he comes back to fight. How?
How did he get back into Gotham when all means of, entry and exit were cut off?
Yeah, I thought we were going for realism here. He's got no money left. It was all hacked away. Gotham was quarantined, and his back was broken. And he wasn't taken there with a means to come back. He was left there to rot.
Mm-hmm.
But he came back. Snuck back. Nobody noticed. And was able to leave a nice, pleasant bat symbol on a bridge. In a couple of places, I think.
Yeah.
And still had all the energy to fight Bane.
But something, I guess, Spoonie, he says that, monumental beatings from Brock Lesnar have a therapeutic sort of appeal to them, right?
Yeah.
The same must be true from Bane, because at the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises, Batman, he's not in the best of health.
Yeah.
He's got that one knee that's all screwed up. They go to the hospital and he gets a scan of it and there's no cartilage left.
Yeah.
So he gets that knee brace that, it like auto tightens and he screams and then he kicks like a stone pillar down.
Yeah, like the rest of his leg was made strong enough to do that.
Yeah. So, that's one thing. But then he didn't have that knee brace when he was in the well prison.
No.
So how was he able to do all that climbing and the big leap and all that? Let's just gloss over the fact that
his back is gone.
With no medication and very rudimentary rehab, he was able to, get back to 100%.
The same doctor that botched fixing Bane fixed Batman.
Yeah.
By hanging him there.
Yeah.
His back was broken, and they just had him hanging, so his legs would be pulling his spine down.
Yeah.
And then let's forget about the fact that the rope had to feel like it was ripping him in half those few times he failed. Didn't aggravate that injury, because whatever, he's fine. He healed. But this is real. This is real Batman. This is supposed to be really real Batman.
Yep.
But he climbed out of there and then somehow made his way back to Gotham. Took a boat.
Yep.
Maybe. Somebody left him a boat. Even though Bane never thought he'd see him again.
He took a boat from the Middle East to Gotham.
Yeah, the Middle East, by the way. And he's Caucasian. I mean, not to be racist, but I'm not the one to be racist. He'd certainly have some trouble over there.
He's a well-known...
Wealthy American. At least
Yeah.
they think he is. And he made it back. Just fine.
Instead of a scenario like in the first Iron Man, where, terrorists take him hostage, try to get, an exorbitant king's ransom for him.
Yeah. Everybody just lets him walk by.
Yeah.
With his hobbled, broken knee and his back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he made it back. And he fought Bane, and Bane got killed by Catwoman. I think we covered everything there.
Pretty much.
Scarecrow was in it. Just being a judge, not Scarecrow. Just being a judge.
Yep.
Like, you die, you die, you die.
A lot of people say that was supposed to be a role for the Joker, but...
Yeah, it'd make more sense.
It would have. But instead we get Scarecrow with some feathers stuck on him and
Which means...
sentencing people to walk across an ice bridge to die.
Yeah, like banishment by walking across the ice. That was the humor in that trilogy was kind of awkward and not that funny.
It was hit and miss.
Like, I'm gonna say it was all your idea, Alfred. All right, it's funny. It was the humor was just dumb, but it's just these people are making new Batman movies, and
Boy.
it's already been covered who Batman's gonna be. I'm trying to be positive about it. I really am. Ben Affleck just looks too douchey for the role. I don't care if he's even improved. I don't care if he's improved as an actor.
Well, he's supposed to be Frank Miller style Batman, so that works. Because Frank Miller Batman is kind of a douche.
He's a psychotic dick. I'm just gonna fucking yell at Batman or yell at Robin and slap him out of shock and shit.
He's going to curse at a kid who just watched his parents die.
And he had a god complex. He didn't have a messiah complex.
No.
He's like, you should fucking know who I am. And all that shit, that quote that's in every meme for the last, 50 minutes.
And then he abandons them in a dank, smelly cave in hopes he eats rats.
Mm-hmm. 5 minutes remaining. Alright, I'll go copy this. Fuck. When do intros matter? I just hit the record button and we go.
We were talking about... Shit.
I know we started with the new cinematic universe and Ben Affleck.
Uh-huh.
And how I said he looked like a douche. You said, well, I mean, he's based off Frank Miller. And
Yeah.
we were talking about that. We mentioned All-Stars Batman and Robin and the stupidity there. I think what I was getting to, because I mentioned The Dark Knight Rises and Strikes Again.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what we're getting at is just, it's gonna suck. look what started it all. Man of Steel. The writing's pretty bad on that one.
I
don't hate it.
No.
It's
by
better
no
than
means do I
Rising.
hate the movie.
So you want to talk about Messiah complexes? Let's just talk about Russell Crowe being in that movie.
Yeah.
Swerved.
It definitely
Swerved,
had
yeah.
a lot of problems.
Yeah.
By no means am I going to deny that.
Even though it's a Superman movie, I guess we just kind of segued over.
Well, not...
'Cause
Yeah,
We're talking about the cinematic universe. And
Yeah.
Batman's a big part of that too.
I'll say Man of Steel is definitely top 3 Superman live action movies.
Yeah, I mean, Batman Begins had some stiff competition, right? To be in the top 3 Batman movies, so well done. Well done, Man of Steel.
Because, 78. Superman 78 was... We're segueing again.
Yeah.
I should just... Anyway,
yeah, we can make
Man of
that a
Steel.
Superman video.
Yeah, we'll talk about Superman movies some other time. Man of Steel, I think we can both agree it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great Superman movie. It wasn't a fantastic, action film, but it was adequate.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad writing in it again.
Yeah.
Didn't Goyer write that again?
I believe so.
His dad was like, hey, you should let that school bus of children die just so no one would know who you are.
Yeah.
But we can address that later.
Yeah.
The whole point is that movie was not the best of foundations. It was no Iron Man that served as the foundation for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Man of Steel is a very shaky foundation. I mean, he didn't save anybody. I don't think anybody survived. I guess he tried, but...
The montage at the beginning of the film of him sort of just being like an urban legend, I thought they did that pretty well.
Yeah,
that was,
where he's running around saving people.
That was like an interesting take on the Superman mythos that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, because that part of his life isn't really covered.
No. And I think it did it way better than, like, Smallville.
Smallville was his entire career during adolescence.
He just waited to put the cape on till the very end.
Yeah, he was already at retirement time for that.
Yeah. But, that was a really cool part. Some of his interactions with humans early on in the film were pretty cool.
Yeah.
The action scenes, I think, are the biggest downfall for Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's when he goes on his rampage, destroying more stuff than Godzilla did.
Yeah.
I'm not even counting the terraforming shit. I'm just talking about the fight itself. The fight itself destroyed a lot of shit without the alien technology jumping in. I mean, he flew Zod through buildings himself. His own choice. He didn't have to knock Zod through those buildings. But he's like, that one, bam! But, I mean, this we get more in depth. But it's just weird that he was so about saving people in the first half of the movie. Then for that fight, until the end when he breaks Zod's neck, he's kind of like forgetting, even going so far as to jump over an oil tanker and let it slide into a building behind him. Like, these guys forget that maybe those places aren't abandoned. Especially in the middle of the day.
This seems to be a recurring theme with legendary pictures movies. Is that they do some good things, and then when it comes time for action, things get kind of stupid.
Yeah. Especially when Gore is writing.
Yeah.
Seriously, just get somebody else. She-Hulk's not a porn star. Don't let him write Martian Manhunter.
Oh, please no.
But anyway, the reason I bring all this up is because Batman v Superman. This is based on Frank Miller's work. They've already got a Frank Miller-y looking Batman with Ben Affleck playing him, fighting Superman, and eventually he gets in that armor suit like Batman would and fights Superman.
And Wonder Woman and Aquaman are in it.
Yeah. I don't mind when you establish smaller... Well, I do kind of mind. Like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Like, here, they're in this. Fuck Origins. But
they were in the last 12 seconds of Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Acceptable. No. I guess you can't really establish them when X-Men are banned, but still.
Should we do Superman next, or should we talk about the ills of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Maybe to balance it, we do Marvels. But I'm just saying, when you got superheroes like Wonder Woman, Aquaman is kind of iffy. Maybe you can just throw him in there. Maybe. I mean, if you can come up with a really compelling story, about a fight for his kingdom, which is like all he ever has. Then I guess he can get his own movie. But Wonder Woman should have her own. Shouldn't just be in there. Batman, I guess, had a bunch of his own. You can thank Nolan and Goyer for that. You'll be thanking him for this too.
Aquaman should be pretty far removed, at least early on, from the rest of the DC cinematic universe. So it makes sense for him to have his own movie. In the same sense that the Guardians of the Galaxy had their own movie. And because, the underwater world in the DC universe is pretty vast.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of kingdoms and shit down there.
He's got a hard job just by himself.
Yeah, so he could have his own movie. Easily, actually. Wonder Woman definitely could.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is going to be based on The Dark Knight Returns. Batman's going to be significantly older than Superman. I don't care if the comics do that a lot. Superman came first. And he
by
should.
a whole year.
Yeah, I mean, they're like neck and neck, but they should be. I mean, they're kind of both newish, and they meet each other and disagree and fight. And Batman doesn't go nuts and wear armor and punch him and shit. I don't understand what's going to happen there. Maybe it'll be cool. It was alright in the comics, it just didn't make sense. I can't see Batman wanting to fist fight Superman under any circumstance. I mean, it's just the problem is the next movie is said to be based off of a Frank Miller book, whatever. I don't even know. I don't know what it's based on. It's Frank Miller story-ish.
Wait, what?
Batman's sequel movie, his first standalone movie after Justice League after. I don't know when it's happening. This is DC. Who the fuck knows when they're getting around to this stuff? Whenever they do, his movie is another Frank Miller work adapted. It's not happening enough, I guess. Never mind that I think Dennis O'Neil is the one who brought Batman back to his roots. Minus the killing, thankfully. But everybody says Frank Miller did it. It's all Frank Miller. Frank Miller fucking... Well, he brought Batman back to his roots, ruined him, and then made Daredevil Batman.
We should start like an activist community. Trying to get Batman back to his Bob Kane roots.
You mean...
Some blonde jackass in a domino mask and a pair of wings.
It might work out better than Ben Affleck Batman. Or should I say Catman?
Yummy. I don't know. I'm willing to give Ben Affleck Batman a try. I think enough time has passed, and he's heard all the criticisms for Daredevil. He knows he screwed up before.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
I know he's gonna try harder this time. So
just his justification was stupid. He's like, I wouldn't take the role if I didn't think I'd do a good job. Sound logic. I should just buy into that. You're right. You say you're gonna do good, so I should believe it. I won't question that. I just kind of did. That's all I had to say. Yeah, alright. Yep. But, I mean, the cinematic universe is going to be a disaster. They've got too much going on too quickly. It's too Frank Miller-y. I mean, eventually everybody's getting a movie, but they're so far behind. They're years away from bringing their team together. Unless it's happening right after. I don't know. I don't know when it's happening. They've announced like 18 movies or something.
Well, Suicide Squad is already in development.
Which I find it funny that was announced after Guardians of the Galaxy. They're like, what team do we have that's like that? I'm sure they came first, but the movie producers don't care. They're probably just looking for something that was the closest thing. So I'm surprised we don't have a Lobo movie. Is he in it? I think Lobo's in it.
I don't think so.
Which, that's another thing, is they're just ham-fisting a bunch more people into this universe. Joker, Harley Quinn, Deadshot. It's gonna be a good movie. Is that the end? What are you doing? Should I keep recording?
Neat.
I ate it. It was good. Where did it go? Right next to me.
I think that's the end.
We're coming for you. I'm just gonna hit the button.
Okay.
Again, bullshit.